I did not disgrace my parents in DSC. I did not disgrace my parents in MSc. I will now come to PhD and disgrace my family members. Hey, God.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
Hi, Silem stars. Welcome back to my channel. You can now call me Dr. Silem. Hey! You can now call me Dr. Silem. I now have a PhD, a doctorate degree. I am now a doctor of philosophy. I know most of you do not know this, but I have been doing my PhD for the past 3 years. I did my BSc, my bachelor's degree in microbiology. My master's degree was in biomedical science, but then I specialized in clinical microbiology and immunology. Why am I forgetting my master's degree? But anyway, my PhD is in microbiology as well, and I specialized in clinical and pathogenic microbiology. So guys, I want to share my testimony with you. Getting this PhD was not smooth sailing. It wasn't at all. I went through a lot of ups and downs to get to the point, to this particular point where you see me now. So let me give you the full gist, okay? So the PhD program runs for 3 years, ideally. So by ideally, I mean it could be 3 or more years. The minimum is 3 years, but you could do it as long as 5 years, 7 years, 8 years. I did mine for 3 years. So the first year is the coursework. So during the coursework, you are going to have lectures, write exams and all of that. You're also going to do your proposal. Now this proposal is simply saying, this is what I want my research to be about. This is what I want to do and this is how I hope to achieve it. Now the second year is lab work, where you work in a lab. Because it's microbiology, you need to go to the lab and work in a lab. You actually like experiment and get results for your research, okay? And then the final year is writing your thesis, and then you move on to doing your defenses. So all the defenses in this world. So for my school, we have 5 defenses, okay? So yeah, guys, moving on to the testimony. So my first year, the first semester went well. Everything was sweet, rosy, cute. But then the second semester, we didn't have lectures, like organized lectures the way we did for the first semester. It was more of, oh, here's the course outline, go back home and read, right? And honestly, when it got to the exam time, I wrote, but after the exam, I wasn't feeling confident in what I did. I wasn't feeling confident in my answers. I wasn't feeling confident that I wrote the right thing, right? I'm like, I did not disgrace my parents in DSC. I did not disgrace my parents in MSc. I will now come to PhD and disgrace my family members. Hey, God. I just didn't see myself failing at this stage of my life. I was so scared. After the exam, I came back home. I prayed. I'm like, God, please just help me. Just help me. I don't know how you're going to do it, but just help me. I just wasn't confident in what I wrote. But guys, after the exam, guess what? I had all A's, both in first semester and second semester. Oh, what's there? Yes, you wrote an exam, you prayed to God and He helped you pass. Big deal, right? Well, guys, God came through for me. I wasn't expecting to even see a B, but then I had an A. God is so faithful. So guys, I just want you to know that at every stage of this PhD, God showed Himself. So that was year 1, right? That was the first year. That's what God did for me in the first year. Now it's moving on to the second year. Now my topic is, I'm just going to summarize it in layman's terms so that it makes sense. So I worked on bacteria, okay, that are called probiotics, and these bacteria are good bacteria. So I tried to see how these good bacteria, when consumed, how they can actually treat type 2 diabetes. The name of this bacteria, this good bacteria that I worked on, is actually called lactobacillus. Now, when I got into the lab, I'm supposed to isolate this lactobacillus so I can now use it for my experiment. Now, by isolate, it means these lactobacillus are present in food, they are present in yogurt, it's also in palm wine, it's in tiger nut. So I got it from all these different sources. I got palm wine, I got tiger nuts, I got yogurt. I took it to the lab and I tried to isolate this organism. Guys, I could not isolate it. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Mind you, this lab work is supposed to be done for a year. Now, if you do it for more than a year, it only means that you're going to do your program for more than 3 years, because the second year is supposed to be for your lab work. So if your lab work extends to year 3, it means your defenses are going to extend to year 4. So everything is going to be pushed forward simply because of the delay in a particular year. So I was I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I would buy lots of palm wine. I'll buy like 20 bottles of palm wine from different areas in Port Harcourt. Then I was in Port Harcourt. I'll buy lots of tiger nuts from different vendors. And after doing all my experiments, no lactobacillus. I was so stressed and I was so tensed. And at this time, I was also planning my wedding. And I knew that I would have to relocate to Lagos soon. So the fact that I couldn't move forward with my experiments was stressing me out. I felt I just kept wasting money. I was wasting money, I was wasting time, I was wasting my resources, because for every time I go and buy all these things and I don't find what I'm looking for, it's all a waste. Okay? It's all a waste. I did this time after time. 5 months, guys, I was still looking for lactobacillus. Now, all this while I was praying, I'm like, God, please help me. I don't have all the time in the world. I don't want to do this program for more than 3 years. If I can do it in 3 years, then I'm going to do it in 3 years. You don't have to wait till there's a big problem before you call on God. Even in the smallest thing, I'm like, God, I need to find this lactobacillus. So I'm tired of searching and not finding anything. You said seek and you will find. I literally was using that passage. I'm like, God, you said I should seek and I will find. I've been searching and I did not find this word though. Like, what is happening? I even had to tell my supervisor that, please, I don't want to do this topic again. To tell you how frustrated I was. This is a topic that I proposed. It's a topic that I actually wanted to work on. But for me to come back and say, I don't want to do this topic again, to tell you how frustrated I actually was. I spoke to my fiance then. He was my fiance then, my husband now. Spoke to him then. I'm like, see, I'm not able, I've been trying to get this lactobacillus and I can't. Now, the good thing is that my husband is a medical doctor and he has a background in microbiology. They literally teach them microbiology in med school. So he was like, okay, you will find it, don't worry. So I didn't actually expect him to do anything about it. But then a few days later, he calls me and he sends me a link that I can actually isolate this lactobacillus from cabbage. And to do that, I have to ferment the cabbage. And then he sent me the link on how to do it. Guys, do you know, I tried this thing and the amount of lactobacillus I isolated, hey, God. The amount of lactobacillus I isolated, guys, God is so good. He can use anybody to come through for you and break down walls. Literally. Like, So that's how I isolated lots of lactobacillus. I was able to use it. And this was in the 7th month. So I had just 5 months to complete the rest of my work. So I hurriedly just got the lactobacillus and then I used them for, my actual work. So that's how God came through for me in the 2nd year. God is so amazing, guys. He's concerned about the smallest things. He says that the hair on our head are numbered. So he literally knows how many strands of hair that I have on my head. Now that I haven't have braids, he knows how many strands of these braids that I have. He's so detailed. He's so concerned about the smallest detail. So moving on to the 3rd and the final year, I told you that I had to do 5 defenses. So one of the defenses was done in the 1st year, but the other 4 were done in the 3rd year. By the 3rd year, I had moved to Lagos, okay, to be with my husband. And for every time I had to do a defense, I needed to fly back to Port Harcourt and then do my defense and come all the way back to Lagos. I just want to thank God for granting me journey mercies to and from Port Harcourt for all the times I had to go, because I had to go, come back for the 1st defense, go, come back, 2nd defense. So like that 4 times. So I traveled a total of 8 times to and fro like that. And I had A's in everything. Like I mentioned, I had all A's in my 1st year where I did my coursework. And for my defense, I had an A as well. So I graduated with 5.0 CGPA. So 5.0 in a 5-point system. I had a distinction. So guys, I am just so happy. I am so grateful to God. Um, for those of you that are following me, you are doing your sewing business. Let sewing not be the reason why you don't chase your dream. I am someone that believes that you don't have to do only one thing. You can achieve as many things as you want to achieve, right? As long as you know how to plan your time and use every time wisely, okay? So if you are sewing and you want to go to school, let this video be that encouragement you need to go to school. And for every step of the way, commit your ways to God. Commit your ways to God. He will guide your path. He will lead you in the right way. He will not let you go astray. He will not let you make a mistake. Where you are confused, ask Him. He will give you answers. It may take a while, but He will definitely come through for you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for following me this year. I just thought to share this testimony and I hope that it encourages somebody here. Please, if you like this video or if you're encouraged by it or if you relate to any of this, let me know in the comment section, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!